Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications.
The Isoko ethnic nationality has demanded a right of first refusal in the bid for ownership and operation of 57 marginal oil fields in the Niger Delta. The call was made by the Isoko Development Union recently in Ole, headquarters of Isoko South local government area in Delta State.
Barely weeks after their Ijaw and Ishekiri neighbors drew the federal government's attention to a persisting trend of neglect and underdevelopment of their communities, the Isoko nation has equally alleged unfair distribution of Nigeria's oil wealth. President General of the Isoko Development Union, High Chief Idu Amaide, who spoke on behalf of the Isoko nation, said the socio-economic alienation of Isoko communities was in spite of their immense contribution to the country's crude oil output.
Currently, the Isoko crude oil contributes about 19% to the total output of the production quota of Delta State. Isoko ethnic nation has 8 oil fields. It is really very painful that Isoko, which has been producing oil for the past 62 years to feed the whole country, has been totally denied benefits of the natural resource, which contributes over 90% to the foreign earnings.
At the press briefing, High Chief Amaide reminded the federal government that Isoko land was the second to produce crude oil in commercial quantities in 1958, 2 years after the first discovery in neighboring Oloibiri community in present-day Bayelsa State. To ensure justice and fairness for the Isoko people, the elder statesman demanded that they be given right of first refusal in the bid for ownership and operation of 57 marginal oil fields in Delta State.
For too long, outsiders who are not necessarily better qualified than our people are brought into the system to buy our God-given oil assets. Those of us from oil-producing communities should be given the right of first refusal in the building process. We therefore call on federal government to discontinue any action to the contrary. The Isoko people are giving the government 2 weeks ultimatum to make positive statement about our demand for fairness and justice, failing which we will be constrained to shut down all oil and gas fields in Isoko land.
In over 2 decades of oil conflict in the Niger Delta, the Isoko people have opted for a non-violent approach to the struggle for an existence in the region. They expect, therefore, that the federal government would reciprocate their demonstration of goodwill over the years by acceding to their legitimate request to partake in the oil wealth generated in their land.
Inside the Niger Delta,